मैडम
But we met in very unusual circumstances. I was in state government, state of Andhra Pradesh. When I got posted as joint secretary in 2013 as mission director of NMCG. In fact, before I joined, he was already there in this mission. So he sent a kind of SOS to me that, sir, you have to do some homework before you come. So we started with that kind of situation. As I had lot of experience of irrigation department and dealing with river in a very different fashion. I think it started shaping our thinking in a very different way. We worked together for few years, for 1.5 years together. When we came here, first week there was a lot of trouble. We somehow borrowed time for about 3 months. That give us 3 months time. I have just come. We will try to do something and then have a review. And then that was the time to build up institution because nothing was there in NMCG. So how to build up that institution right from scratch? So that was a kind of challenge. We started working. Maybe Puskal will talk a little more about that. So then I went back to urban development. Puskal continued in NMCG for some more time. Some more institutional development took place. And then I again came back in 2018 as Director General of this mission. I must thank God, I must thank Ma Ganga, I must thank government for giving me another chance to work for Ma Ganga, to do whatever I can for this great cause. So I think that's something which I will always cherish in my life. And then again, the idea of book never came till then. So 2018 was again a crisis time, trying to show some projects, complete some projects and those kind of things. And 2019 onwards, we started, by the time he had left NMCG, but we were always in touch with each other. So we started thinking that let us do something about recollecting. What exactly is the challenge? Why there should be a book on Ganga? Why, what exactly we are doing? And always you will be asked, कुछ हो सकता है क्या? Do we have any hope? I mean, this is such a cause. The moment you say you are working in Ganga Mission, they will say that कुछ होने वाला है क्या? कुछ हो रहा है? Is there anything changing? So I think we started thinking in 2019, 2020, we started working on it. You get support from very unknown quarters also. So somehow we started and wrote this book. I will again come back for a few minutes, but at this point I will also request Puskal to share some initial thoughts, and then I will tell about the book little more, and then what we feel book is likely to do.
Our assignments keep changing, they change fast. And we learn the habit of keep moving on. Ganga has not been like that. Having been once into it, it stayed. And this is not only my story. I think a number of people who have worked on this mission, they realize this. Our previous secretary, Mr. U.P. Singh, always used to say that you can leave Ganga, Ganga will not. One thing I noticed, it is about more than 4 years I had left working for Ganga. When I was working then also and even now, I joined a new organization. I sat in the car and my driver, he overheard me and he said, "Sir, आप गंगा में काम करते थे? Sir, कुछ होगा क्या? कुछ काम हुआ क्या?" When the Namami Ganga mission was launched, sir would agree. We had to make briefings at so many different forums, and everywhere, everybody was keen to know what happened in 30 years and what all did not happen. And we became so good at answering them that in 2019, when I was talking to sir, I said, "Sir, this looks like we should put this into writing and close it for once for all, so that people can read." Because we realized that so many people wanted to know about it. With the Namami Ganga mission coming, the anticipations went even higher. The expectations went so high, but that was the eagerness of the people to know about it. Second thing is that we started working on it in a very different way. When I had joined, the mission was 5 people strong. We had a 1,000 square feet office in the backlands of NBCC place. And from there, suddenly the challenge came of a 20,000 crore mission. So the challenge was clear, but the instrument was not. And we did not have, the expectation was so high, we did not have the time to work on that, how to build up a mission and how to dress up for the challenge. But then we learned it fast. Honestly, sir, I don't think we hardly had an option. We kept improvising. We kept building up muscles, we kept building people, we kept making them ready, and we kept handling the challenges. Then this became a practice, and finally we find that after so many years, when we see the way the treatment gap has been completed, and the prospects for Ganga look real bright, this model seems to be working. Once these learnings are put in documentation, I think if this inspires even one person, even one mission, if even one objective, I think so both of us will be really, really happy about that. So now I request you that why not go how this the book has been aligned.
We start on a personal note, the call of Ma Ganga, and Puskal writes about why Ganga matters, are we believers? And thereafter, we have tried to address, because people always say, Ganga kab saaf hogi? So how exactly is the problem? So the book actually goes little bit in the depth of what exactly is the problem, what is the size of the problem, what is the enormity of the problem, different aspects. Very typically, that's why we call that chapter solving a wicked problem, a very difficult problem. You need everyone's cooperation, and then we start. After that, we talk little bit about how we have built up the mission, the institution. What were the challenges and how the institution has been growing, because that's also very important. Thereafter, we try to look, as the Ganga flows in a very organic way, we try to go from state to state as the Ganga flows and try to look at what has been achieved. Ganga is a very different river. We all know, it's mother of mothers. And it's one river, but it's also a different river. When you are in Uttarakhand, you have a very different river. When you reach West Bengal, it's a very different river. So there are challenges, there are opportunities. So we look at Uttarakhand, and I very clearly imagine, I mean, Uttarakhand was also a state when I had joined. I think Kedarnath disaster will be fresh in all our memory, and that was the time we also got little sensitized about STP is not the only thing. We have to look at the flow, we have to look at several other ecological aspects. So I think and Uttarakhand chapter we say because we have completed all the cleaning projects, I mean the Nirmal Ganga projects in Uttarakhand, and I recollect very clearly in that chapter when the last project, all the projects were inaugurated last year with Prime Minister, his remark that if we would have gone by the old methods and old thinking, the results would also have been same. But we went for new approach and new thinking, and we are having a comprehensive program. So we moved from Uttarakhand, we go to Kanpur. Kanpur has a special place for me. I am alumni of IIT Kanpur. So seeing change there gives me a lot of personal satisfaction. Srisamo Nala, several things have happened. And looking at Kanpur and cleaner Ganga in Kanpur is really a dream. So I think several things have happened. This is not the time to get into that. When we can do so well for a shorter period of time, why can't we go into a better urban planning in normal times? So we get into that, and then we come to Varanasi. Varanasi is really very important for Ganga. Whether it was Ganga Action Plan or Namami Gange, the original point of giving the trigger was Varanasi. So I think that's something very nice. What should be done? Nirmal Ganga or Aviral Ganga? I think that's a kind of permanent debate which goes on, and so we address that. Then we go to Bihar. Our challenge of Bihar was, because Bihar gets a lot of flow from Nepalese, the other rivers. So I think many people ask, do you really need to build up so many projects there in Bihar? But I think that's the fallacy. I mean, we have to do that. So we address that. We talk not only about STP, we talk about environmental thing, biodiversity, but we take a little closer look on dolphins in Bihar. In that chapter, we get into that, our national aquatic animal. Many of us are still not aware that we have a national aquatic animal and we have Gangetic dolphins. So we get into that, and we go to Bengal. Before we go to Bengal, we go to Jharkhand. And small is beautiful. Jharkhand was targeted by the mission that we have very small estates, let us do a good job there and showcase to the other estates that it can be done. It's a very unique estate where you have got hills, you have got Himalayas, you have got sea. So we will look at the changes, the loss of rivers in Bengal, what all is happening in Bengal, we look at that, and then what we are doing from the mission is one part, but otherwise also, and then Sundarbans. There is a special chapter on Sundarbans, where we look at the special ecology, the climate change impacts, and several very interesting things we write about the community, the born baby concept, the tiger, and I mean several things about Sundarban is there. It's a big job, and then we have one chapter devoted. It was a big problem for us that how to write about tributaries, because to understand river, I think river is not one river. It's a kind of complete water web, so tributaries, wetlands. So we have tried to do some justice about the major tributaries of the river in one chapter.
There has been scientific advancements. We are talking about lidar mapping, which is taking place in a very big way, and at the same time we are also doing a cultural mapping. The water quality monitoring online is happening at hundreds of locations, and one thing which I really like is the Ganga Task Force. It is the first time that a force has been created only in the name of Ganga. On the pattern of the ecological task forces, it comes under the territorial army, and this force is fully operational, settled at Allahabad, and at most of the Ganga functions you will see their presence. This is a very high degree of commitment and a real first in many manners. When we think of the sustainability, how the river is sustainable, when its real stakeholder, its real owner takes charge, and that are the people. So the people river connect is going to be very important if we want to see our rivers really rejuvenated for our next generations. Namami Ganga project has given us a number of many firsts, and that's a whole chapter on it. To save time, I'll just list a few of them. There's first time there is an all-in-one plan. The Ganga River Basin Management Plan, a single plan for the entire river, including its tributaries. There are River Ganga Authorities Act, River Ganga Authorities Order, which gives us enough mandate to implement that. And one of the credentials is that this was a race against time. 159 projects have been sanctioned to create 4,900 MLDs of capacity, one of the paces which has never been heard in the recent times. Its hybrid dynamic model, one city, one operator approach, is one of the first in the project execution, which has really put it on the fast track.
We could not do much justice in the previous chapters about SILT, about flood, about several other issues. We again bring all of them together here, and then we say, at to end, ultimately we appeal to people. The health of river is what? Health of river indicates health of us, health of our civilization, our philosophy and our physical health. If we are rejuvenating, if the cities, the villages, they remain clean, they remain healthy, the river will remain healthy. River has no fault of its own. The river is always clean. Ganga sada se nirmal hai. It's we who have to do our bit. And that's where we basically try to appeal to the readers that to sustain all these results, one, we have to remain optimistic. Because if we lose faith, nothing will happen. Suppose I am made responsible for Ganga, and then, everyone loves Ganga, everyone has concern. But if I am on the saddle, I will have to be more responsible. And if I don't have that faith, if I don't have that optimism, perhaps nothing much is going to happen. जैसा पुष्कल ने बताया था, जब हम शुरू में बोलते थे कुछ हो भी रहा है क्या, people started saying कि कुछ हो रहा है, फिर बहुत कुछ हो रहा है, but I will end, बहुत कुछ करना है, because this is a long journey and we will have to keep on doing it, and everyone will have to contribute. That's why we appeal that to keep ourselves healthy, to keep society healthy, we need to do our bit.
Jeev Ranjan Mishra, Pushkal Upadhyay, Viva Dhawan, Abhay Mishra, and my dear friend and ex-colleague Yamini Iyer, ladies and gentlemen. I have never seen this hall this crowded at this time of the day. The pull of Ganga as well as the pull of the two authors, Rajiv Ranjan Mishra and Pushkal Upadhyay. I was asked to read this book in manuscript form so that I could write a foreword. And now I've been asked to come here today and release it, which simply means I get 2 copies of the book, and it's a good book to have 2 copies of. It also has a beautiful cover, deliberately with a blue undertone of a clean Ganga. You can quite clearly identify Varanasi in the front. At the back, if you look very carefully, you will not only see fish, you will also see the Gangetic dolphin that Rajiv Ranjan Mishra mentioned. The word Sindhu etymologically means something that flows and can therefore be applied both to an ocean or to rivers in general or to a specific river, namely the Sindhu. And many of our texts refer to Sapta Sindhu, the 7 great rivers. The listing of Sapta Sindhu changed over time, as some older rivers like the Saraswati dried up and became relatively less important. The Saraswati dried up, the Drishadvati became less important, and Ganga became much more important. You will invoke Sapta Sindhu, and Ganga is the first river that is mentioned there. Gange cha Yamuneshchaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jale Asmin Sannidham Kuru. Ganga, certainly in the northern parts of the country, is the most important river. As was mentioned in the introduction, it sustains the lives of millions of people. In the book, there is a reference to Mark Twain's visit. And Mark Twain was asked about the Ganga, and he, I think, actually bathed in the Ganga then. And he was asked whether he was not scared at that time of bathing in the Ganga, and Mark Twain evidently remarked, I found no trace of this remark in his writings, but evidently he remarked, no, I'm not scared of bathing in the Ganga, because the Ganga is so dirty, no bacteria will survive in the Ganga. There is clearly a correlation between per capita GDP and environment. As per capita GDP increases, so does the quality of the environment. That's a correlation. As statisticians, we know that the direction of causation is not always very clear. Does better environmental protection, including the protection of rivers, ensure better productivity and growth? Or does that higher per capita GDP mean that we place a greater premium on environmental protection and the protection of rivers? To the extent cross-country empirical exercises establish anything, premium on the environment tends to increase when the per capita GDP of a country exceeds 10,000 US dollars. Even stronger if it is more than 15,000 US dollars. And we are a long, long way off from that. Often, it is possible to be dismal. when we look at the state of the rivers, or when we used to look at the state of the rivers, including the Ganga. But if you cast your minds back, perhaps 50 years, perhaps 60 years, and you read, no one here is old enough to have probably experienced it, and read the accounts of what the Thames was like, what the Danube was like, what the Rhine was like. There is no reason to feel despondent. Even when I used to be a student in the mid-1970s in Britain, the Thames actually used to stink. Just as I mentioned the etymology of the word Sindhu, etymologically, Ganga means something that moves. And here is Ganga flowing all the way from Gangotri to Ganga Sagar. There are several beautiful descriptions of the Ganga, including one by Valmiki Ramayana, in Valmiki Ramayana. There are several Ganga Ashtakams. One particular one, Ganga Ashtakam, attributed to Agastya Rishi says, I live to imbibe a drop of water in the Ganga. The question is, until recently, how many of us, dharma notwithstanding, would have dared to do that? Partly because there is not sufficient flow coming into the river, and largely because of the discharge of waste, domestic as well as industrial, into the river. Namami Gange, or NMCG, or cleaning up of Ganga, or cleaning up of rivers in general, is not going to happen only because of what governments do. The first attempt to clean up the Ganga was by the citizens of Kashi in 1886. It was a completely citizen-driven initiative. In his 75th Independence Day speech, the Prime Minister referred to Sabka Prayas. One of the interesting things about this book is what is best described as case studies. There is the pontification which can always happen. There are the dashboards that are produced by the government. But what is really interesting is the case studies about how those changes were brought about by the cooperation between government or governments, because state government and local government was also involved, and citizens. And there is a chapter which in the second edition of the book, I'm sure the book will do well, in the second edition of the book will probably become several chapters, and the authors mentioned this. This is about the tributaries. The book has been written by two insiders from the IAS. With no disrespect, people from the IAS fraternity or sorority are capable of writing turgid prose. They are not capable of writing interesting stuff to bring out an enlarged reprint, new edition with more on the tributaries. Thank you very much.
Eloquent way that you addressed the audience here. Now, my job here is, is to moderate the next set of discussions that we're going to have, right? And before that, let me just give you a brief introduction. My name is Victor Shinde. I work at the National Institute of Urban Affairs. For those of you who don't know it, the National Institute of Urban Affairs, or NIUA, is widely regarded as the think tank of India's Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, right? And I lead the Water and Environment Division at NIUA. And for me, it's such a great pleasure and honor to be here today, for a couple of reasons. The first is that for the last 3 years, we've been working very closely. My team and I have been working very closely with NMCG and especially Rajiv sir on a very unique aspect of river management. Right? So we are actually looking at the urban drivers because, as you can imagine, most of the problems in our rivers are because of cities. Right? And cities, if they are part of the problem, they also need to be part of the solution.
And it was a fascinating conversation. Everybody was deeply committed to to the idea that much improvement needed to be made. There was an openness to reform, ideas, to academics, to civil society actors, stakeholders coming in to discuss this. And in the middle of this long 3-hour conversation, the secretary sort of suddenly said, the thing is that I know how to do things in mission. So if I have to run a summer camp, and if in that summer camp you give me a very clear goal, all children who come to the summer camp should be able to read, recognize letters, read a paragraph, I know that my system can mobilize, gear itself up, money will move, teachers will be trained, teachers will be mobilized and motivated, and things will happen. But if I have to take exactly this and place it into the context of the everyday of the classroom, I find it very difficult to ensure that that mobilization sustains itself into day-to-day administration and day-to-day governance. And when I was reading this book, I was reflecting back to exactly that. I see this often in conversations and in engagements with administration. It mobilizes into a mission. It moves as a mission, and in government, once you set something up as a mission or a scheme, there's no sunset, it never dies out. But it loses its energy over time.
So from policy, let's now move on, to on-the-ground action and the people connect, right? So the citizen angle of this, right? And for this, I want to invite, Mr. Abhay Mishra, for the next round. So, sir, you have actually traveled the entire length of the Ganga, right? From the inception to the point where it meets into the Bay of Bengal. Right? And in all that process, you have interacted with so many people. You have visited, not just the famous places, but also the smaller places, relatively unknown. You've met fisherfolk, priests, pilgrims, and a wide category of people, right? And there's a chapter in this book which actually talks precisely about that, right? The People River Connect, right?
किताब मुझे कल ही मिली, जितना मैं पढ़ पाया, और किताब को पलटते पलटते एक चीज़ जो लगातार हो रही थी, मुझे इस बात की बहुत खुशी हो रही थी कि राजीव सर रिटायर हो रहे हैं। क्योंकि इस किताब में जो लिखा था या जो लिखने की कसक लग रही थी कि और लिखना है उन्हें, तो इसके बाद शायद उनका मौन मुखर हो जाएगा और ऐसी कई कहानियाँ, कई चीज़ें हमारे सामने आएंगी। तो मेरी तो उम्मीद यही है कि आगे बहुत सारी कहानियाँ राजीव सर और पुष्कर सर हमें सुना पाएंगे। मैं इन चैप्टर्स की बात करूं, अपने अनुभवों को बताता हूं, 2-3 जो मैंने देखे हैं। मैं नदी किनारे टहलता हूं, उसको समझने की कोशिश करता हूं। सुंदरबन में बदलाव कैसे होता है, या नदी जब बदलती है तो समाज कैसे भ्रष्ट हो जाता है, वो चीज़ समझने की ज़रूरत है। सुंदरबन एक आदिवासी इलाका है, ट्राइबल एरिया है, और वहाँ पर वन विभाग हनी कलेक्ट करता है। शहद लेने के लिए जाते हैं तो वो अपने चारों तरफ मुखौटा लगा लेते हैं, नकली बनाकर। वो इसलिए लगा लेते हैं कि टाइगर जब देखेगा तो टाइगर को यदि ये मैसेज है कि कोई उसको देख रहा है तो अटैक नहीं करेगा। और ये चीज़ें उन्होंने उन आदिवासियों से सीखी और उनको हनी कलेक्शन से अलग कर दिया है। अभी ये इसको ऑर्गेनाइज वे में करते हैं, लेकिन मास्क प्रोडक्शन का एक अपना काम चल रहा है। वो तूफान जब आता है तो स्लाइन वाटर जब आगे आता है पूरा, तो खेती काफ़ी ख़राब हो गई है। खेती ख़राब हो गई है तो वो लोग झींगा मछली जो होती है उसको बीनने का काम महिलाएं करती हैं। उनको ज़्यादा अंदर समुद्र में जाने की परमिशन नहीं है, वो करती हैं। वो झुक के झींगा को उनको उठाना होता है, लगातार झुके रहना पड़ता है और बगुले की तरह नज़र रखनी पड़ती है झींगा को पकड़ने के लिए। इसलिए वो ज़्यादा शिकार हो जाती हैं क्योंकि वो छुकी हुई रहती हैं, पीछे से उन पर अटैक हो जाता है। और इस तरह से कई घटनाएं वहाँ पर देखने को मिलती हैं। वो जब गंगा वहाँ बढ़ती है आगे, तो मैं वहाँ का ट्राइबल आपको संस्कृति बताने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ कि वो लोग बात करते हैं कि जिस द्वीप में, वहाँ कई सारे द्वीप हैं, जिस द्वीप में टाइगर है उसको कहते हैं द्वीप भारी हो गया है। जैसे ही टाइगर दिखता है वो चिड़िया एक अजीब सी आवाज़ निकलती है, वो बंदर बहुत तेजी से उछलने लगता है और वो जंप करता है, हिरण को मैसेज देता है और हिरण वहाँ से मूव कर जाते हैं। उसको देखकर बंदर इतना घबरा जाता है कि कई बार वो नीचे गिर पड़ता है और शिकार हो जाता है। ऐसी बहुत सारी कहानियां हैं जो गंगा के बदलाव के साथ साथ अब बिगड़ती जा रही हैं, क्योंकि अब स्लाइंग वाटर बढ़ रहा है और वो जो हुगली में बहुत पहले समस्या हुआ करती थी स्वीट और स्लाइंग वाटर के मिलने की, वो बढ़ती जा रही है, वो काफ़ी आगे तक आ रही है। जो किताब को पढ़कर जो मुझे समझ में आया, जो बार बार बीच में निषादों की बहुत बात हुई, फिशरमैन कम्युनिटी की, उन पर बात होनी भी चाहिए और सरकार को सोचना चाहिए कि उन पर शायद कुछ एक अलग आयोग बने जो उन पर ध्यान दे पाए, क्योंकि फिशरमैन की समस्याएं हर जगह पर थोड़ी थोड़ी अलग हैं। मैं आपको 2 घटनाएं बताता हूं जिससे ये समझ में आएगा कि समाज कितनी तेजी से बदलता है और किस तरह उसका बदलाव स्वीकार करना नहीं करना, हमारे पास विकल्प नहीं है, वो हमें करना ही पड़ता है। नहीं है जिसको आप देखते हैं ब्रज घाट को, गढ़मुक्तेश्वर काफी अंदर है। ब्रज घाट एक बाद में डेवलप हो गया, क्योंकि वो दिल्ली वालों को थोड़ा सा ठीक पड़ता है, पार्किंग फैसिलिटी है और अमावस पूर्णिमासी का कोई फर्क नहीं है, सैटरडे संडे को कन्वीनियंट रहता है जाना, तो लोग वहाँ पहुँच जाते हैं। वहाँ पर जो जमीनें हैं वो शेड्यूल कास्ट की हैं, दूसरे लोगों को जिन्हें चाइना वार के समय वहाँ बसा दिया गया था, जबरदस्ती वहाँ दे दिया गया था जमीन, पंडों के पास वहाँ जमीन नहीं है। अब लेकिन लोग वहाँ यात्रा के लिए तीर्थ के लिए पहुँचते हैं, तो वो क्या करते हैं, भगवा पहन लेंगे और एक उस तरफ बैठा रहेगा, कहिए आइए आपको वो संकल्प पढ़वाएंगे पंडित जी। कुछ लोग याद करना आजकल सबने सीख लिया है। पंडितों की मजबूरी यह है कि अब वो वहाँ पर आकर किराए पे उनसे जमीन लेकर वहाँ बैठते हैं और कहते हैं कि तीर्थ का काम थोड़ा सा आप हमको भी कर लेने दीजिए। ये थोड़ा सा सामाजिक टकराव होता है, मुझे ये अच्छा संकेत लगता है। एक नया ब्राह्मण वर्ग जन्म ले रहा है, चाहे इस तरह से ही, उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता। लेकिन ये समाज बदलता कैसे है? यदि नदी पर प्रेशर बहुत ज्यादा होगा तो चीजें बदलेंगी कैसे? जो इस पर बात इस किताब में जो गंगा मुख्य धारा की बात है, विवेक सर जो कह रहे थे कि ट्रिब्यूटरीज पर भी काम होना चाहिए, मैं आपको एक मिनट की बात और चंबल के बारे में बताऊंगा। चंबल दक्षिण एशिया की, मेरी समझ में दक्षिण एशिया की सबसे साफ सुथरी नदी है और उससे भी देखिए समाज का बदलाव समझ में आता है। वो इसलिए साफ सुथरी है क्योंकि वो डाकुओं को धन्यवाद, उन्होंने वहां कभी कोई इंडस्ट्री पनपने नहीं दी और सामाजिक रूप से उसको सम्मान नहीं मिला। चंबल का पानी पियोगे तो बिगड़ जाओगे। इस वजह से विकास कितना हुआ पता नहीं, नदी बच गई। और इस नदी का बचाव यह है कि जो बनारस में, जिसको आप कहते हैं कि गंगा के पानी में डुबकी लगाते हैं, वो वास्तव में चंबल के पानी में डुबकी लगाते हैं आप, क्योंकि चंबल केन बेतवा का पानी ही है जो हमीरपुर में यमुना को रिचार्ज करता है और यमुना इलाहाबाद में जाके गंगा को रिचार्ज करती है। वही पानी आगे बढ़कर बनारस पहुंचता है। क्योंकि बनारस में एक चैप्टर इसमें बनारस पर भी है और बहुत खूबसूरती से लिखा गया है। हालांकि बनारस में थोड़ा चौड़े सीने का दबाव है, लेकिन उसके बावजूद इसको मुझे लगता है कि शायद आने वाले समय में सर ये बता पाएंगे कि बनारस में बहुत सारी चीजें हैं। बनारस के घाटों को किस तरह से, मतलब मैं समझता हूँ कि शायद एक महादेव गलियारा बनाने के लिए ही कितनी मेहनत करनी पड़ी, ये लोग निश्चित रूप से जानते होंगे। सामाजिक बदलाव की जो कहानियां जो मुझसे पूछी जा रही थी, अनुभव वाली बात, मैं आपको एक हलमा ट्रेडिशन के बारे में बताना चाहता हूँ जो गंगा किनारे छोटा नागपुर पठार में मिलता है। हालांकि मूल रूप से ये ट्रेडिशन झाबुआ के पास है। वही चंबल नदी जहाँ से निकलती है जानापाव पहाड़ी से। वहाँ पर आदिवासी क्या करते हैं कि जब किसी आदिवासी का कोई काम बिगड़ जाता है, खेत नहीं बन रहा है, छत बनाने की कोशिश कर रहा है, नहीं हो रहा है, तो गांव के बड़े बुजुर्ग आके उसको देखते हैं और समझते हैं कि इसने कोशिश की लेकिन हो नहीं पाया। तो एक दिन तय करते हैं और एक साथ 200-250 आदिवासी गेती फावड़ा लेकर आते हैं, उसका 2 घंटे में छत डाल देते हैं या खेत काट देते हैं, जो भी काम है कर देते हैं। इस ट्रेडिशन को हलमा कहा जाता है और इसी हलमा से उन्होंने कॉल किया कि जानापाव पहाड़ी में वाटर कैचमेंट बहुत कम हो गया है। हलमा कॉल किया कि धरती माता हलमा बुला रही है और 15,000 आदिवासियों ने वहाँ का ग्राउंड वाटर बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ा दिया। तो ये खूबसूरत प्रयास हैं जो नजर आते हैं, वो इसमें भी नजर आते हैं। भरोसा ये जगाती है कि हर खिलता फूल बता रहा है कि प्रकृति अभी हमसे नाराज नहीं हुई है। किताब ये बताती है कि अभी समय है, हम बचा सकते हैं। ये किताब उस कोशिशों के बारे में बहुत खूबसूरती से वर्णन करती है। आज शायद 8-10 साल पहले जब मैं ये इस तरह के गंगा मेला या गंगा क्वेस्ट जैसी छोटी कोशिशें होती थी, तो हम ही लिखकर ये सवाल उठाते थे कि इससे होगा क्या। लेकिन सारी आलोचनाओं से विचलित हुए बिना एनएमसीजी ने, राजीव सर ने इस कोशिश को किया, और अब मुझे समझ में आता है कि हाँ, ये बदलाव दिख रहा है। टीनेजर्स जो है जोड़ रहे हैं, गंगा से जोड़ रहे हैं, गंगा की बात कर रहे हैं। अन्यथा 2010 तक, 12 तक भी, 14 तक भी शायद ये एक तो हालांकि ये डाटा इसमें बहुत सारा है, और ये जैसे हम लोग पढ़ते थे हिस्ट्री में ना, एंशिएंट हिस्ट्री, मिडिवल हिस्ट्री, मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री, वैसे ही 2014 को एक पैमाना बना लिया गया है। हर चीज को 2014 के पहले बताते हैं, फिर उसके बाद बताते हैं। तो खैर वो स्वाभाविक दबाव है उसका। तो हालांकि नमामि गंगे को नमामि गंगे कह सकता है कि ये तो मिशन ही 14 में चालू हुआ था, और इसको पावर और पैसा उसी समय मिला। तो ये बहुत स्वाभाविक सा जो है उनकी कोशिश है। तो पहले क्या होता था 2010, 11, 12 में, जब जनरली गंगा सफाई के नाम पर 2 का पहाड़ा पड़ा जाता था। तो स्टील फिनिश वाले डस्टबिन लगते थे घाट में, मुंगेर के किसी घाट में। उसमें 4 नेता साथ में होते थे, उसमें 6 फोटोग्राफर होते थे लोकल वाले, 8 लोग नारे लगाने वाले होते थे, और वो इस तरह से वो डस्टबिन वहाँ लग जाता था। और कुछ वहाँ गंजेड़ी भी बैठे रहते थे जो उसी रात को वो डस्टबिन निकाल लेते थे, क्योंकि उससे 10 ग्राम के आसपास गांजा आ जाता था। तो ये जो 2 का पहाड़ा पड़ने वाली जो टेंडेंसी थी, वो मैं साधुवाद देना चाहूंगा राजीव सर को। इनकी लगातार कोशिशों से अब ये नजर आता है कि डस्टबिन खाली नहीं रहते, या डस्टबिन के चारों तरफ कचरा नहीं पड़ा रहता है, उसमें पड़ा रहता है, वो रोज साफ भी होता है। मैं इसलिए इस बात को दावे से कह सकता हूँ क्योंकि मैंने इन्हें आंखों से देखा है। मैं लगातार जाता हूँ, लगातार देखता हूँ। तो एक चीज जो मैं बता रहा था कि किताब भरोसा जगाती है, वो यही भरोसा जगाती है कि चीजें बदल रही हैं, हम ठान लेंगे तो बदल सकती है। इस किताब में सिर्फ कोशिशों की बात है, ईमानदार कोशिशों की बात है। क्योंकि लिखने वाले ब्यूरोक्रेट हैं, तो थोड़ा सा आंकड़ों से खेला है उन्होंने, वो उनकी एक्सपर्टीज है। लेकिन ये कोशिशों की किताब है, इसलिए ये बहुत अच्छी है, इसलिए मेरे दिल के करीब है। मैं इसको रेफरेंस के तौर पे शायद आने वाले 10 साल तक यूज करूंगा, बताऊंगा कि इन्होंने यहाँ ये लिखा है, इन्होंने यहाँ लिखा है। तो गंगा को देवी और भगवान कहना बंद करने की बहुत जरूरत है, क्योंकि जैसे ही हम आपको भगवान कहते हैं, जैसे समाज में हमने महिलाओं को देवी बनाकर स्थिति बनाई है, वैसे ही नदियों के साथ है। जैसे ही मैं आपको देवी कहता हूँ, मेरी ड्यूटी खत्म हो जाती है, आपकी शुरू हो जाती है। आप अपनी चिंता कर लेंगी, मेरी तो कर ही लेंगी। तो ये इस भरोसे को तोड़ती है कि गंगा एक नदी है, एक पवित्र नदी है, पवित्रतम नदी है, और इसको संभालना चाहिए, और हम संभाल सकते हैं। और उस एशियन टैक्स का कोई बहुत मतलब नहीं है कि आगे 50 साल में गंगा वापस चली जाएगी। हम ठान लेंगे तो कर सकते हैं। मैं अपनी बात खत्म करता हूँ।
इट शुड बी फ्री फ्लोइंग, एंड ऑफ कोर्स जो अभय जी ने बोला है उसका सही कारण है कि देवी नहीं मानने से या देवी मानने से हम कई बार छोड़ देते हैं, वो नहीं है। बट वी स्टिल से इट शुड स्टिल रिमेन as reverent as it is today or as it was in ancient days. So I think all these things have to be there, and then it's not easy. You have to do several things. So crystal gazing, I see, I mean, you may tell that being a bureaucrat I am trying to be optimist or whatever it is, but there is no other option but to keep our faith and remain optimistic. There is no other go. I don't think anyone, whether he is in government or outside government, has any other option, because if you don't be optimistic, you won't work for it. So that's why we have to remain optimistic. And then I can say, I think Abhayji also has seen some change. I have also seen some change. Change is happening for better.
अब तो सॉन्ग है सर, आगाज हो गया।
Whether it's of friends or acquaintance or unknown,
Come back with
buy the book.
my daughter says.
Buy the book.
सर
I want your signature.
नहीं, ये तो नहीं सर,
Autograph. Come back. I think.
सर प्लीज वेट।
Only problem is that. Thank you. Thank you.
हम आएंगे और आप भी आएंगे।
हाँ उनसे मैं मिल गया।
हाँ तो एक फुर्सत से बैठेंगे।
बहुत अच्छा। बहुत बढ़िया बेटा।